Hi, Bhavani, good afternoon. How are you? How is your studies going? Are you feeling pressurized? Do you feel the pressure? Do you feel the heat of prelims approaching you so soon in June 2022? Hardly 2 months left. Am I audible now? Am I audible? Am I audible to you now? Is this audible to you now? Okay, so good afternoon once again to you. I was just asking whether you are feeling the pressure. Yeah, under heavy pressure. Yeah, just 2 months left, and then you have to prepare the CSAT as well. Time and again, I've been telling my students that don't take CSAT lightly because the level of the questions has been tremendously increasing. The questions are getting difficult year by year. So don't take CSAT easy, because what could be more painful that you are clearing out the first paper but you are failing or not clearing the cutoff in the second paper. Nothing can be more painful or disheartening than that. So better start preparing from time. Do give at least half an hour every day practicing the questions for CSAT. What about current affairs, Bhavani? Are you able to tackle it properly? कैसा चल रहा है current affairs? And how about economy? Do you feel confident now after attending sessions and taking the prelims PYQ also? Do you feel confident? Does it provide confidence to you? Chalo, good, good, good. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes for other to join, and then we can start with the class. Till that, if you have any doubt, Bhavani, you can just post the doubt and let's talk about it if you have any. The current affairs, yeah, Harsh is taking it every day. So even if you are watching the video, at least some part of it you would be retaining, and that would certainly help you in at least, if not attempting or jumping to the right answer, but it will certainly help you in coming or eliminating the statements in the exam. And that I think itself is quite sufficient if you are able to eliminate and come to the last two, and at least it helps you eliminating it, and that's kind of a big help in the exam scene. Acha, which attempt is this? This is your first attempt? कौन सा attempt है ये? With whatever you are conversing, you are more confident. I think this would be your second attempt. Am I right on this? Second attempt or the third one? What about others? I think we have to wait for others to join. Just a minute. Oh, this is your third attempt. Chalo, all the best to you. I hope this time you come out with flying colors. Practice more mocks, Bhavani. I think by third attempt, more or less, students are clear with the concepts. They know what the syllabus is. Where the lack is practicing of mocks and facing more and more questions. The more questions you face, the more mocks you appear. I think that will give you a better hand over the others, and probably you might clear the prelims this time. You never know. Chalo, let's start the class. So this is probably the last class in the series of Prelims PYQ. By now, what we have covered, or the money and banking, we have covered fiscal policy. Then we talked about inflation and poverty, financial markets, and agriculture. Now, if you see the questions that comes from economy section, somewhere around is 20 to 25, and most of the questions are framed from these particular part of the syllabus. The majority of it yahan se aate hain, which we have already covered. Agriculture we'll talk about today. Rest what is left is, which is very important, is the acts. Every year, except I think except 2021, every year a question is coming from the acts. For example, 2019 May there was a question on from Maternity Benefit Act. There was a question from Maternity Benefit Act. Then Indian Patent Act. There were 3 acts that was being asked in 2019 itself. तो ये चीज भी हमें prepare करनी है, but since you cannot cover all the acts, the cost benefit ratio is little low when we talk about the acts. Another was industrial employees wala, that was asked, the rules. So what we have to majorly focus on is these part of the syllabus, and if the time permits, then certainly the acts. Let's suppose in 2018 the question was there from National Food Security Act, then Food Safety and Security, Food Safety and Standard Act, Safety plus Standard 2006. तो हर साल ये तो पक्का है that a question is coming up from some or the other act. What else you have to prepare yourself is the indexes and reports. Indexes plus reports. Again, if you see in 2021, not even a single question was asked from indexes and reports. Also, not even a single question was asked from the reports, sorry, from the schemes also. Schemes में से भी कोई question नहीं था, indexes and reports में से भी कोई question नहीं था. But that doesn't mean that you should leave this part of the syllabus altogether, because if you see the questions from the year 2020, 2019, 18, 17, ये अगर 5 साल के पेपर उठा के देखें, questions आ रहे हैं. What else you have to prepare is, you have to prepare the world institutions also. World institutions like IMF, World Bank, all of that, the composition of it, how the meetings are convened, all of that you have to prepare well. One thing, once this part of the syllabus is sorted, I would suggest, that is my perception, that is how I approach the syllabus. एक बार ये हो जाए, then only move to these parts, because यहाँ पे cost benefit बहुत ज़्यादा low है. ठीक है ना. एक एक्ट आएगा यहाँ पे, no matter how much time you spend, we are not sure that whether we would be able to attempt the question successfully even after that or not. But यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं concepts, by connecting the dots, we will be able to solve the question. So this should come first in priority, and then if time permits, you should move to these sections, and starting with the most prominent acts that were in news, वहां से start करेंगे, and then moving to the other acts. ठीक है. Now this is sorted. अच्छा, starting with the agriculture part. Agriculture part में, how I would like to approach this session. The session for today is, I would not like to start with the important questions. That is the questions from the previous year. What I would want to tell you is the important trends, because agriculture में questions कैसे आ रहे हैं? They are asked or dependent on trends or somewhere around MSP. ठीक है. So इसके basics we know that, but what students fail to study is or prepare is the trends, because they end up getting confused कि कहाँ से पढ़ने हैं, which graphs to focus on and which one to leave, and in fact economic survey तक वो पहुँच ही नहीं पाते हैं. तो initial like 15 minutes in today's session, I would like to devote it to the graphs, and then we'll take on the previous year questions. Are we good to go? कोई doubt है, then please ask me. Else I'll start with the session. I'm waiting for you to post your doubts, any confusions that you have till now. If not there, then I'll start the session. Okay, I think you're sorted with it, and you do not have doubt as of now. Chalo. So let us start with the important graphs that you need to know. Is first thing that you need to know, because this was there in this year's economic survey, that agriculture, one thing that you need to remember is agriculture is the least hit sector. Least hit sector out of the three sectors which are there in economy by the multiple waves of pandemic. COVID-19 जो pandemic waves आई थी, agriculture is the least hit one. ठीक है ना? Least hit one. What students can perceive is this could be the most hit one or the worst hit one. No, this was the least hit one. The worst was service sector. ठीक है? Now, what you have to remember this graph is there is no trend. First of all, what you have to see is there is no trend, that is the percentage share. Just a second. Sorry. Yes. This is the first graph that you need to know is the growth rate. You do not need to remember the exact figures, but what you have to remember is that the growth was in the positive side. The growth was by the 3.9% this year. Also, if you see no trend has been formed. बस इतना ही याद रखना है. If there is a question or statement asking that the growth in the agriculture sector has been steadily increasing or declining, नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, because you know that there is no trend and the growth rate was hovering somewhere around 3.5-3.9%. So this is the first graph that you need to remember. Next graph in line that you have to remember is contribution of agriculture and allied sector. It is just not for the agriculture but also for the allied sector. So the contribution of agriculture and allied sector to the gross value added. Okay, this is the second thing that you have to remember. Also, you do not again have to remember the exact percentage or exact figure. क्या याद रखना है कि somewhere around 18%. Statement will never, the questioner, the examiner will never ask you the exact percentage, exact figure nahi. एक आपको range देंगे, so you should know that the percentage share of agriculture to the gross value added is somewhere around 18 to 18.5%. If you see in the last year, if you see in the last 7-8 years, I'll zoom in the graph for you. So see, 18.2.6, 18.2.6 to then 17.7, 18.3, 17.64. In the last year, that is 2020-21, क्या हुआ था? It went up to 20%. 20.2% of the gross value added was by the agriculture sector plus the allied sector. Now, what does this allied sector comprises of? It comprises of fisheries. It comprises of fisheries plus aquaculture. It comprises of crops. It comprises of livestock. Remember, livestock is a separate category, as well as the fisheries and aquaculture is separate. And the last is the forestry plus logging. That is how your allied sector is being divided. ठीक है ना? इसमें से so हमने first thing क्या सीखी? The first thing that we studied is the contribution of agriculture plus allied sector is somewhere around 18%. Now, out of the allied sector, out of all of this, which had the maximum contribution to the GVA, it is the crop section. ठीक है ना? Crops contributed the most to GVA. इतनी क्लैरिटी आपको होनी चाहिए. अगर प्रीलिम्स नहीं तो मेंस में काम आएगी. You need to be this crystal clear with the concepts that how much is the contribution of agriculture plus allied sector to the GVA, and out of the allied sector or the agriculture, which subsector is contributing most to the GVA. ये क्लैरिटी बहुत जरूरी है. ठीक है? Now, this graph is sorted. Now let's move on to the third graph, which is very important for us because there's a trend that is being formed in this particular graph. Acha Babani, tell me one thing. Are you able to see the graphs, or do you want me to zoom in? Do you want me to zoom in? Do you want me to zoom in? Visible, it's visible. Okay, fine. Now the first trend that you have to see in this particular graph is the rice. ठीक है ना, क्यों राइस का ट्रेंड पढ़ना है? Because there was a question asked in the previous year. We have also talked about where the question asked which is the largest producer of rice in the world. So the current affairs was that in that particular year, and that is in 2018 end, India surpassed the production of rice. By surpassing the production, what China is doing. Zoom in. You want me to zoom in more, Chandan? Or is this fine? You want me to zoom in more? Is this fine now? Is it fine now? Can you see the figures in the graphs? The bars? Yes. So this color shows the production. This particular graph talks about production of rice. Now, if you see the trend, in the production of rice, it is steadily increasing. If you see, it is steadily increasing. तो हमको clarity होनी चाहिए that the production of rice in our country is steadily increasing. It is increasing from last 5 years, starting from 2015. Even if the trend asks you if the question asks you a trend for last 3 years, but the answer remains the same, that it is steadily increasing. Growth rate हमें जानने की जरूरत नहीं है. Next is what we have to talk about is the production with respect to wheat. So this is wheat. These bars shows the production of wheat. ठीक है? If you see this also, though a slight change is there, this is also wheat के case में भी it is steadily increasing. Clear? What next you have to see is oil seeds. The production of oil seeds is this. Again, in the production of oil seeds, back to back for 2 years, there was a question on vegetable oil, there was question on palm oil, there was question on the import of palm oil and the edible oil. So for us, this themes becomes again very important, that what is the production trend of oil seeds in our country. So if you see it again, it is steadily increasing. You should be very sure कि भाई it is increasing or is it steadily increasing. So with respect to the total oilseed production in our country, we are on the path of steady increase or a steady increase with respect to oilseeds production. So तीन चीजें हो गई. Production of rice is what we talked about, production of wheat in our country and production of oil seeds in our country. तीनों में क्या trend है? It is steadily increasing. I would leave the screen vacant so that you can note the trend. You do not have to remember, just you focus on this. You do not have to remember the exact figures. बस हमें trend पता करना है, and the trend is that it is steadily increasing. Are we done with this? Now let's move on to the next graph. The next graph talks about, let me zoom in first. I think it would be clear to you now. The next graph talks about the production of oilseeds. Okay, the next graph talks about the production of oilseeds. Now, if you see from 2015 onwards, now if you see the period from 2015 onwards, what you would notice is a steady increase. Okay, na? Steady increase. Another important fact that you need to know is India is the second largest consumer of oilseeds. Second largest consumer. World's largest importer. First largest, you can say, clarity chahiye to, importer of oilseeds. Okay. Now, what the government has done for it is, another fact that India imports 98% of its domestic consumption. 98% of the domestic consumption. What else do you need to know is and study about is national mission on edible oils. National mission on edible oils, because that was launched in August 2021. The agenda was to increase the production of oilseeds in our country, and hence this is very important for our prelims. National mission on edible oil, because that was launched in August 2021 only, and that is what makes it very important for our upcoming prelims. What steps government has recently taken in order to improve the production of oilseeds? So this is something which the government has done to improve the production. Now the features of it you have to prepare on your own. Just to tell you that the mission or the agenda to launch this mission was to augment the availability of edible oil. Government would also provide the price support to the farmers, and also there is a concept known as viability price that also you have to prepare while preparing for national mission on edible oil. So this graph is also done. Next is, I believe that you are noting all of it because this is very important with respect to prelims. Next is, अभी तक हमने last graph में क्या पढ़ा था? We talked about the production of oilseeds in the country. Now what we are studying is the production of palm oil. Abhi tak, in the last graph we talked about the production of oil seeds. Fine. Now what we are talking about is the production of palm oil. Okay. Again, yeah, I think this graph I have already discussed in the previous class, but once again, if I have left it by mistake, so another trend that is being formed, that after 2014 and 15, if you see the production of palm oil seeds nahi, oil seeds and palm oil mein confuse nahi hona hai. This graph pertains to the production of palm oil. Now if you see after 2014 and 15, again steadily increasing what? The production of palm oil in the country. Sorry, I'm so sorry, it is not steadily increasing. It is not steadily increasing. That is my mistake. It is just increasing. Because why it is not steadily increasing? Because after 2.3 it is 2.2. Okay, na? So the statement is the production of palm oil in the country is just increasing. It is not attached with an adjective which is steady increase. Okay. Next what we have in line is, this is also very important for us. I'll zoom in. I think that would suffice. So this graph particularly talks about the trend in the milk production of our country. Yes, we have done, no, Sushmita, that is what I remember. Now this graph talks about trend of milk production in the country. Important fact that you need to know is that India is the largest producer of milk. Largest producer of milk ठीक है. And if you see the trend, क्या दिख रहा है trend? It is steady increase. Very important for you to observe and know. Again वही वाली बात, figures नहीं पता करने हैं, steady increase है देखो. That is what you have to remember. अच्छा, एक एडिशनल फैक्ट और लिख लो. इंडिया इज second largest in production of fish. ये भी पता होना चाहिए. India is second largest in production of fish. Now I'm waiting for you all to reply whether you have noted all of this or not, and then only I'll move forward. So I would need a heads up from some of you so that we can just move ahead. Unless I'm not going to move ahead, give you time to write whatever we have talked about till now. Noted? Chalo, ठीक है. Start. So this is what the previous question from the agriculture part is. Acha, unimportant thing that you need to know from the agriculture part of the syllabus is that agriculture के questions are increasing every year. ठीक है ना? If you see from last 2-3 years, but some of the questions are from the economy part of the agriculture and some are or some pertains to the geography वाला, जैसे कि fertigation हो गया, what is fertigation, or some technique of irrigation, drip water or sprinkler or precision farming, all of that. That is also part of agriculture, but that you will prepare when you are studying geography की NCERTs. ठीक है ना? We will be covering that part of the agriculture that pertains from the economy section. ठीक है? So agriculture per se, in total, if we talk about, then the ratio of questions is increasing. The percentage of questions in the total number of 100 questions, that is certainly increasing, but half of it is from the economy part of the syllabus and half of it is from the geography part of the syllabus. So wo geography wala jo questions hai, that will be taken up by the respective faculty when they are taking up the questions. So now let us start with the questions from agriculture that pertains from the economy syllabus. Now if you see the first question which was asked in 2020 under the Kisan Credit Card Scheme, ठीक है ना? Short-term credit support is given to the farmers for which of the following purpose? The catch or the approach to this question lies in this particular word. Short-term, acha, even if you're not clear, वैसे तो you should be very clear that the credit given under the Kisan Credit card is not for creating capital assets. It is for your working capital purpose for which the loan is extended or the amount is extended. ठीक है? But for even if you're not clear, तो यहाँ पे specifically बोला हुआ है that it is the short-term credit. Sushmita, when you are asking me any particular source for agriculture, which part of the agriculture, the economy part of it or the geography part of it? Which part of it you are asking? Which part of the agriculture questions you are asking, whether you are asking me the economy or the geography? Geography, obviously it is the NCERTs that you have to resort to, and for agriculture you have to be updated. Acha chalo theek hai, let me address this question properly. For the agriculture that comes from the geography, apni NCERTs are sufficient. NCERTs जो आपकी हैं, that is more than sufficient to approach the questions for geography वाला agriculture. ठीक है? Now if you see the economy part of it, you have to be updated with the PIBs, the releases over there, also the economic survey. The economic survey, chapter 7 is for agriculture. Go through the summary of it. It is very important. Okay. Also, plus to how to prepare agriculture is economic survey plus the current affairs. You have to keep your eyes open because the questions that is coming is not very tough. बहुत टफ नहीं है. Even if वही जैसे मैंने बताया कि if you see this part of the question, even if you're not clear as to क्या था किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड स्कीम में, but short term credit, and if it is a credit card scheme, obviously you do not take money or withdraw funds under credit card to create the capital assets. It is just to do the daily business or to run the working capital, you take the loan. So that is how you have to prepare. Previous year question obviously 1995 से कर लो, 1995 से लेके अभी तक के एग्रीकल्चर के क्वेश्चंस कर लो. अब उससे बाहर अगर if the paper is going, then I think most of the students would not be knowing that question. ठीक है ना? So for the agriculture part, those who are less confident, those not clear with the concepts and schemes, 1995 से start करके you do till 2021. So for last 5-6 years what we are doing, इससे पहले के you do it yourself. ठीक है ना? तो PIBs प्लस इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में व्हाट इज प्रोवाइडेड, उसमें भी ट्रेंड्स वी हैव कवर्ड. यहाँ पे जो इंपॉर्टेंट ग्राफ्स थे ना, यहाँ मैंने कवर कर दिए हैं. यू डू नॉट हैव टू सी दी ग्राफ्स अगेन, स्पेंड नॉट इवन अ मिनट ओवर इट. ठीक है. नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन, इफ यू सी एंड इफ यू अप्रोच द क्वेश्चन from the short term credit wala point, so if you see the second statement, purchase of combined harvesters, tractors and mini trucks, that is what it is, creation of capital asset which is happening. It is creation of capital asset which is happening, and Kisan credit card does not provide money to create capital assets. So if you eliminate second statement, this is out, this is out, this is out, and we are left with just B option, and I don't know why it is getting deleted on its own. Okay. Even if you're not sure, even if you want to reassure yourself, cross check your question. तो इस पे जाओ. ठीक है ना? You are construction of family house and setting up of village cold storage facility. Again ये क्या है? Creation of capital asset है. ठीक है ना? तो फिफ्थ को भी एलिमिनेट करो. दिस इज एलिमिनेटेड, दिस इज एलिमिनेटेड एंड दिस इज एलिमिनेटेड. डबल चेक हो गया हमारा आंसर. वी आर वेरी श्योर कि अब तो गलत नहीं है. इसमें डाउट था तो इसमें तो नहीं होना चाहिए. डबल चेक करके if the answer is coming this only, that means our approach to the question is absolutely right. ठीक है. We are done with this question. Now let's move on to the next question. So the question asks, in which of the following can be considered as public investment? Now investment is what? That leads to creation of capital assets. अब आप ये देख लो, even if you do not know as to what is public investment in agriculture, but you know this concept because you are clear with the basics, that investment is something which leads to generation or creation of capital assets that would generate or reap returns in the future. ठीक है. Something which is a long term asset for you that is being created with the help of investment. ठीक है. Now if you see, what is fixing the minimum support price for agriculture? Is it some kind of investment? No, that is kind of government intervention. Subsidy है भाई ये तो. It is government intervention. It is subsidy. Subsidy is what? It is revenue expenditure. Agriculture नहीं आता, लेकिन हमारे starting के concepts तो clear हैं. ठीक है ना? So MSP is what? It is kind of government intervention. It is kind of the help that the government is providing to the farmers. ठीक है. Computerization of primary agriculture credit societies. Now if all the primary agriculture societies are computerized, it will make the process faster for the farmers, for the societies to grant the loan and to conduct the processes. So this is a kind of investment. चलो अभी let's not get into detail. अभी तो हमने यही वाला, even if you are sure of this, fixing minimum support price, MSP is what? Is subsidy, is government intervention, even if you eliminate the first wala. So this is eliminated, this is eliminated and this is eliminated. ठीक है. Waiver of agriculture loans by the banking system. Double check करने का तरीका. Waiver of agriculture loan is what? It is again not investment. ये तो political gimmick है. ठीक है ना, it is kind of a support that is being provided, which is usually done around when the elections are around. Vote bank politics है ये तो even if you approach the question with this statement, this हम double sure है भाई, not even once, we are doubly sure that our answer is correct. बाकी हमें statements देखने ही नहीं है. वहां पे जब students see, what you have to do is whenever एग्जाम में ठंडे दिमाग से, क्वेश्चन इज नॉट आउट ऑफ द रीच, इट इज जस्ट दैट द एग्जाम प्रेशर इज सो मच दैट मेक्स द क्वेश्चन आउट ऑफ योर रीच. कि लगता है पता नहीं क्या पूछ लिया, अब ये पब्लिक इन्वेस्टमेंट इन एग्रीकल्चर, ये तो किसी के नोट्स में नहीं था, इट वाज नॉट इन एडुकेमी नोट्स, ओपीडी 365 में नहीं था, हमारी तो टीचर ने भी नहीं पढ़ाया. बट इफ यू जस्ट अप्लाई लॉजिक, जो कॉमन सेंस विच इज नॉट दैट कॉमन इन टूडेज वर्ल्ड, इवन इफ यू अप्लाई दैट, होएगा क्वेश्चन, 100% क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होएगा. जस्ट बी पेशेंट, सोचो, दिमाग के घोड़े वहां दौड़ाने हैं. ठीक है, चलो नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. और ये पेशेंस है ना, आई टेल यू कहाँ आएगा जितने मॉक प्रैक्टिस करोगे. सीरियसली take those papers. What you do is you take the exam as if that is a matter of life and death. ये नहीं हुआ तो कहाँ जाएंगे. Take those mock questions as a matter of life and death and see how much. Just face the pressure right now so that you are at peace when you are going for the paper. So it is said that the more you bleed in peace, the less you sweat in war. So वो ही करना है हमको. ठीक है. So this question is sorted. Next question. The next question is, ये question भी it's very easily tackable. You can easily tackle this question. Let me first set the screen. I think it is sorted now. Yeah, chalo, बहुत easy catch है. In case of all cereals, pulses and oilseeds, the procurement at minimum support price is unlimited in any states UT of India. Now, where does the catch lies? The catch lies in the word all. कहाँ है all cereals and pulses? Is all cereals and pulses covered under MSP? नहीं भाई, we know how many crops are covered under MSP. तो यहीं ये statement eliminate हो जाएगा भाई. When it says in case of all cereals, pulses and oilseeds, हमें आगे जाना ही नहीं है इससे. When it is saying all cereals, we know that all cereals and pulses are not included under the MSP program of the government, and वहीं पे straight away you have to eliminate this, right? Next says, in the case of cereals and pulses, the MSP is fixed in any state UT at a level to which the market price will never rise. So जितना भी आज तक हम notes पढ़े हैं, PIB पढ़ा है, कहीं पे भी we have studied they are trying to match or not match the market price. In fact, MSP has no relation with the market price per se. तो ये वाली बात कहाँ से आ गई? That MSP will be set to the level where the market price cannot reach. ऐसा कुछ नहीं पढ़ा है हमने. Just be confident what you have studied, but you have to repeat or revise again and again so as to be sure in the exam that ये चीजें नहीं पढ़ी. वहीं से question आएगा. But it is not that the statements will be picked up from the magazines that you are studying. That is this is something, the applied part. This is where they are checking whether you know how much confident you are or not. Okay? So this statement is also wrong. The answer is D. Okay? Next question is, which of the following factors, policies were affecting the price of rice in India in the recent past? So in the recent past, the price of rice is affected by which of the following government actions? थोड़ा सा tricky है, but ठीक है, more or less you can make a smart guess and approach or jump to the right answer. I would want you people to answer this first. ये पता है हमें. This we know that. So answer will be either from this and this. because this is eliminated because we are sure of MSP. Okay. Now, how is government trading? Government trading कैसे हो रही है? With the help of open market scheme. The government is procuring and then selling. Consumer subsidy कैसे? 3-2-1. Can anyone tell me as to what this 3-2-1 is? Can anyone tell me as to what this 3-2-1 is? Can anyone tell me as to what this 3-2-1 is? When there is consumer subsidies of the price rupees 3-2-1, the food grains will be provided at the price of rupees 3-2-1. What are the three grains I am referring to when I am saying 3-2-1? What are those three grains that I am referring to when I am saying 3-2-1? Can anyone tell me as to what I am referring to when I say the food grains? There are three food grains that will be distributed at the price of rupees 3, rupees 2 and rupees 1 respectively. And what are those three grains? Very good, Ankit. Pulses, wheat and rice. क्यों इतना time लग रहा है? I don't know why you took so much time to reply or respond on this particular question. 3, 2, 1. As simple as that. And under which act it is provided? NFSA, that is National Food Security Act, which makes it a legal right to procure the crops or the grains at subsidized price. Very good. Next is, now this question, okay, well, let me see what is, how would you approach this question? मुझे इंटरनेट से आंसर देख के मत बताना. I need to know as to how would you approach this. Just curious to know as to how would you approach this. Because had I been there, I would have skipped this question. Or if not skipped, if until unless I am like 50% sure, tab tak I would not have attempted. Because this is what it is doing, is it is deep diving into it. What you study with respect to MSP is on what crops and grains it is given, okay? Who calculates it, who recommends it, who approves it, and all of that. That is the max you study about MSP, okay? But this particular question is deep diving into the concept of MSP. And that is where I said either the questions are revolving around the trends in particular crop or a grain, okay? Or it is revolving around the MSP. So Ankit, not just the answer that you have to tell me, you have to tell me how did you approach this particular question? I would want to know how did you approach this particular question? Because you never know, you might provide a technique and that would be helpful to all the others as well. And that is why I need to know what is your take. How did you think that C is the right answer? Why not this? Why not this? Chalo isko to theek hai, chodo. Why not this or this? Very good, Ankit. So you eliminated the last wala with the help of that. APMC mandis include go down and charges already. Very good, Sushmita. Your approach to this question is very much right, that the go down charges is already being charged by the APMC, that is the mandis under that. Okay, so this is eliminated. Ye wala bhi eliminated. What else, where will you get confused, is the transportation cost only. That means this, मतलब smart guess करना है इसमें. This is something which is confusing. I myself agree to it. This transportation cost only, nahi. This is something extreme statements, and I think most of you must have watched the tricks and techniques of making these smart guesses in the UPSC, and most of the mentors which are making the video tell them that the extreme statements which is saying all or some or only one, all of that is something where you should raise your eyebrows and not go for that option. Okay, na? So this is eliminated and this is the right answer. So the cost for the Food Corporation of India is the minimum support price plus the bonus, the procurement incidentals plus the distribution cost, and that is what makes the economic cost for Food Corporation of India, which procures the grain at minimum support price. Moving on to the next question, directly coming up from the current affairs. Had I been there, total skip it. Until unless I have read this survey, the report of it, which is the NSSO 70th round of situation assessment survey of agriculture household, I would have totally skipped this. ये वाले questions वो होते हैं जो सिर्फ bounces होते हैं. So there are certain questions which are complete bounces which you do not have to go for, because that will lead you fetch negative number, and this is what such question you should be in a position to recognize such questions कि भाई कौन से questions attempt करने, कौन से questions leave करने, and this is one such question that you have to leave it, because even if you read the survey, what you read is who publishes it, what is the span or duration or the frequency of survey and the major highlights of it. That is what max you read, and this is how much you remember, only 2 or 3 points out of the entire survey. Okay, so this is something which is skip. For the sake of answering, the C is the right answer, but for me such questions are the total skip. You do not have to touch these until unless you are very sure. ठीक है, क्योंकि ये पहचानना भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है अपने आप में, which question you have to do and which question you do not have to do. ठीक है. Now moving on to the next question, बहुत easy. I don't know why students after the exam came crying कि भाई I don't know क्या थे इतने questions, ये मतलब such a difficult questions. I seriously do not know this. अरे भाई सीधा कॉफी लिखी है यहाँ पे. Usually it is considered as a luxury good भाई. It is considered as a luxury good. How can you expect coffee पे MSP होगा? That is something which is not basic. ठीक है ना? So that is, so even if you eliminate ये 3, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone, what you're left with this. इसको double check करने का तरीका is एरेका nut, betel nut. गवर्नमेंट MSP थोड़ी देगी कि भाई खाओ पान तंबाकू. Government will not promote such practice. So to double check this, even if you approach either from this one or this one, you can double check your answer, which will come to B only. Very easy one. क्यों confuse हुए students इसमें? I don't know. Next is, can you see this question? Easy one. Chalo, let's start with the second statement in this. So the question says, consider the following statement. Which of the following statement is or are correct? Ag mark is a quality certification mark issued by Food and Agriculture Organization. Ag mark is for agriculture, certifying the quality, agriculture quality, or it is for the agriculture products. भाई ये तो बचपन से देखते आ रहे हैं. एग मार्क फूड FAO कहां से आ गया? ये तो यूनाइटेड नेशंस का है, तो बेसिक है. दैट इज व्हाट इज जनरल अवेयरनेस, बचपन से पढ़ रहे हैं. ठीक है, दिस इज एलिमिनेटेड. Now the standard mark of Bureau of Indian Standard is mandatory for automotive tires and tubes. Now for this you need to know as to for which of the products BIS is very important. So there are certain IT products. There are certain IT products. There is tires and tubes. There is cement. There is food products. For which it is mandatory, and some household electrics also. For this certain category of products, it is mandatory for the companies to take the standard mark of Bureau of Indian Standard. Okay, so only A is right. Most of you are providing the right answer. Shubham, I am seeing you for the first time in the session. Have you this is the first time you are taking the class, or you have watched the previous videos as well? Because I think we are interacting for the first time. In fact, for Jaswant also, I think you are interacting for the first time here. I've not seen you in my previous session. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. Chalo. Next. Very easy question again. In India, markets in agriculture products are regulated under what? Yeah, Shubham, that is what I also thought. That I have not interacted with you in my previous sessions, not observed you being interactive over there. So that is how I assume that it is your first session that you are taking up. So Shubham, just for your information's sake, that is the last session where we are discussing the previous year questions for economy subject. Previously we have taken 4 more sessions for which you can see their recorded videos. I think so this is the only last live session that I'm taking today. Chalo. Anyway, so easy question. The markets in agriculture products is regulated by APMC Act enacted by the states. Essential commodities nahi hai. This is also not there. We know what is the right answer. Very easy questions. And the last question for the day. The last question for the day is fair and remunerative price of sugarcane is approved by whom? It is acha. Pehle tell me, it is approved by whom? What is the right answer? What is the right answer? What would be the right answer in this? Nobody is providing me the. It is approved. It is. एक चीज होती है recommended, एक चीज होती है approved. क्यों कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो इसमें? सुष्मिता, शुभम, why are you getting confused? एक चीज होती है by whom it is recommended, and there is another party to it which approves the FRP. So you are getting confused. FRP, देखा, even after the question is being asked in the previous year, फिर भी confused हो रहे हैं शुभम, सुष्मिता, and I think Vishal also. So when it comes to approving the FRP for sugarcane, no, Shubham, no. When it comes to approving the FRP for sugarcane, CCEA, that is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, does that. Okay? When it is about recommending, who recommends it? It is recommended by Commission for Agriculture Cost and Price. Okay, na? Same goes for MSP. The recommendation is done by Commission for Agriculture Cost and Price, whereas the final approval The final approval is given by whom? It is given by CCEA, which is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Now what you have to do is you have to see under which ministry does it come. ये चीजें क्लियर होनी चाहिए, यहीं तक खत्म नहीं होना चाहिए प्रिपरेशन. You should know under which ministry Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is there. Or is it an independent body which is there? It is an autonomous body, statutory body. क्या status क्या? What is the status of this? ठीक है? Now with this we are done with the questions from the agriculture part of the syllabus. And with this I will wind up my session. Again, one thing that I have to tell you is please do not forget to prepare the acts. Do not forget to prepare the reports and indexes, and do not forget to prepare the schemes. That is what I discussed in the first slide. That majority part, जहां से major questions, majority of the questions जहां से आते हैं, वो हमने prepare कर दिया, which is money banking, fiscal policy and program, inflation, poverty, financial markets, agriculture, जिसमें trends and MSP. What is left is we are left with acts, indexes, schemes and programs, and sometimes the question could be around unemployment also. But in पे तभी जाना है, you have to approach this part of the syllabus only when you are done with this part of the syllabus. ठीक है? Any other question that you need to ask, or I'll wind up the session? Any other question that you have? Just for your help's sake, till the prelims, you're free to approach me either through Telegram or Instagram. Any doubt you have, you can directly message me on my Telegram number or on my Instagram. I will certainly reply, if not immediately, but I'll certainly get back with your doubt. Any question, any query, even if it is the silliest doubt that you have in your mind, it is okay to approach me. Okay? Okay, Babani, goodbye to all of you. All the best to all of you. I hope that you feel little confident after attending these 5 sessions we have, where we have discussed the previous year questions. And one thing, just remember again and again, keep assuring yourself that the questions will be logical. You will be able to attempt the questions. बस थोड़ा सा दिमाग उधर खुला रखना. Just be open to it. Just try to connect the dots. Just try to recall what you have studied. My Telegram ID, you can take it from the group that is being made, where you must be part of or a member of the Telegram group by Edukemy. There you can search me by the name of Nanki Baveja. My Instagram ID is Nanki_B22. Another important fact, जाते जाते ये भी सुन लो, पता नहीं आ जाए. You should know that India has achieved its target of the export, the 400 billion export that India was supposed to achieve by 2022. India has achieved it 9 days before the end of the financial year. That means, because the economic survey में क्या provide किया था, India has achieved 75% of its target. Know that there's a revised estimate that has come, that now India has achieved the entire target, which was of the 400 billion US dollars of export by 2022. Very important for the upcoming prelims. ये चीज याद रखना. ठीक है? चलो, goodbye all of you. All the best, and hope all of you who are watching this session come out with the flying colors this time. Bye bye.